Welcome back, and I have to say, what a wild forecast that has been these past 7 days. I feel like we've gone almost from winter weather to almost what feels like spring weather, but it's not.
And yep, still December.
Still December.
Still December. We are a long way from spring, and this kind of thing is, I don't want to say normal, but it typically happens once or twice every winter where you get this warm weather pattern, and typically to get there you need a lot of wind and rain.
Exactly, and now we're just feeling the impacts of it.
Yes, exactly. And those impacts are going to stick around a bit longer and likely going to have some pretty big impacts. High wind warnings and wind advisories are in place across the inland Northwest. Wind warnings are down across the Palouse and down into the Blue Mountains for wind gusts around 65 miles per hour. We're under a wind advisory here in Spokane, over in Coeur d'Alene, and then through to Grand Coulee, down through central Washington. In south central Washington with wind gusts at 45 to 55 miles per hour. So far, we've seen some pretty strong gusts up near 40 in Spokane and Deer Park, 40 in Pullman, near 70 in Walla Walla and Richland at 47 miles per hour, and that wind is expected to ramp up here as we head through the rest of the evening. So pretty widespread, 30 to 50 miles per hour tonight. By tomorrow morning, kind of 30 to 40, and by tomorrow afternoon, wind subsides. But when we're talking impacts of that kind of wind, enough to break tree limbs and maybe locally knock out some power. That all comes thanks to this monster storm that's moving through. And as it moves overhead, we're starting to see it make its way into eastern Washington. That's going to play a big role in the enhancement in wind and rain. All of that rain is creating flood concerns. Flood advisories remain in place for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, much of the Palouse in southeastern Washington for melting snow and that heavy rain not having anywhere to go. Drains are clogged, poor drainage in low-lying areas means you'll likely see more giant puddles, or ponding as we call it, in the days to come. The key messages here, well, it's all about the rain and melty snow and poor drainage, but it is going to continue, especially in urban areas and some of those fields, as we move through the day on Wednesday. Not until we see some of this heavier moisture subside do we see that flood threat subside along with it. But temperatures are definitely on the warm side. We're up near 40 in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Deer Park, Sandpoint, Wrightsville, Moses Lake, even down across the Palouse. So all of that warmth is just melting our exceptional amount of snow we've seen thus far this winter. The rain continues. Not until you get up pretty high in elevation do you wind up seeing that turn over to snow. We're talking up over 4,000 feet right now, but that doesn't remain the case the entire night. In fact, we'll get into the cold sector of this storm after it moves by. And what happens for us is we wind up pulling in enough cold air into this system. The low pressure center is cold core. By nature, that's what our storms are. So as they move over, they're going to pull in cold air, and eventually that cold air comes down to the surface, and that's going to try to change some of it over to snow. Kind of stays around 3,000 feet. So here on the South Hill, a rain-snow mix is about the best of it. Up in the mountains, could be talking about 4 to 8 inches of snow. We have winter weather advisories in place for the mountains of North Idaho. We'll talk more of that, but over the course of the next few days, expect more rain turning to snow and then more rain and snow as we head into the weekend.